Lots of seating, lots of close parking, no need to cook. Don't think about cleaning today. Mondays can be tough enough. Buy one pizza, get one free at the Mine Shaft. Plenty to take home for tomorrow. Desserts, and I love their desserts, are also buy one, get one free. Just walk in today for your free Monday pizza, MineShaftRestaurant.com.
If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain problems is something you should strongly consider. First off, because our FDA-approved pain treatments have been shown in many cases to be highly effective at reducing inflammation and substantially alleviating pain. Secondly, Medicare and Medicaid cover Rejuvenex treatments, so your cost could be nothing, or next to nothing at all. Chronic pain will only worsen with age. This leads to a far more compromised lifestyle, depression, and soon they start talking surgery. And then what? You have to get in front of arthritis and chronic pain, because the sooner you do, by letting us begin to calm those pain points, the better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and we can alleviate your pain so you can rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 11 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, February 24th. Your top story, ordered not to respond to that email.
I'm Jessica Tighe, back online in Racine.
Mostly cloudy today, breezy and mild, a high of 50 degrees. Let the melting continue. Isolated showers tonight, mild patchy fog, a low of 33, up to 46 under mostly sunny skies on Tuesday. 48, sunny and breezy in downtown Milwaukee at 11:01. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, 3 agency heads are telling their federal workers to not comply with an Office of Personnel Management demand that all government employees list 5 things they did last week. Elon Musk added on X that not responding would be tantamount to resigning. CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand.
Some really interesting and notable pushback from some of the agency heads, secretaries of these departments saying don't respond to that email, that there's a process internally at these departments for employee reviews.
There are reports other agencies are also telling their workers to forego the demand.
Congressman Glenn Grothman says he fully supports DOJ's efforts to curb federal spending. Here's what he told NBC 26 at a town hall in Oshkosh.
I'm going to give DOJ some of my own ideas on how to cut spending. So, yes, it's always a good time to have an agency out there whose goal it is not to add more spending, but to reduce some of the spending that's already happening.
The Wisconsin version of DOJ, the Assembly Committee on Government Operations, Accountability, and Transparency, hasn't held a meeting since it was announced last year.
President Trump says Dan Bongino will be the deputy director of the FBI. Bongino is a former Secret Service agent and New York police officer, currently a conservative radio host and podcaster. The Hill's Cheyenne Daniel.
He does have a master's in psychology. He has his degree from, I believe it's a Pennsylvania university. And so he clearly comes with a background with education. He's part of the Secret Service, all of these elements. And the big thing to remember here about him, though, is that he is a huge Trump supporter.
On Truth Social, the president describes Bongino as a man with incredible love and passion for the country.
One person is in custody after a car flipped over onto its roof overnight near Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. Police say the driver lost control and rolled the car over near Howell and Enderton. Happened around 2:30 this morning. The driver, a 36-year-old man, is now being treated for serious injuries. He was also arrested for suspicion of OWI.
The Racine Unified School District is back online after a cybersecurity breach.
The district says student data was not impacted, but that a security breach at Racine Unified did affect the staff's personal information. The breach also caused some internal tech issues at the district for about 2 months. The Racine Journal-Times says the district now back online and offering free credit monitoring and identity protection services to all employees. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up about 150 points today at 43,580. NASDAQ off about 75 at 19,451. S&P 500, a modest gainer today, up about 6 points at 6,018. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
4 wins in a row for the Bucks. What's next? Well, hopefully another W. Sports, traffic, and weather right after this. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:04.
Hey, boaters! It's a boater's do-it-yourselfer's dream store. Kendor Marine stocks thousands of boat parts and supplies. Just about everything you'd ever need to keep your boat up and running. Whether it's common or something you think might be discontinued, you can bet on us having it. So don't be surprised when we have just what you need. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, boaters!
Some call them oddball parts, but we call them a huge part of our inventory. Dave Doro here from Kendor Marine. With thousands of boat parts and supplies stocked right here in our store, you won't have to look elsewhere. If you need it, chances are we got it, along with expert advice to get your job done right. Hey, boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
What we've found is that when you have workers who feel valued, you get better results. This is why good people and good culture should matter to anyone looking for an exterior remodeling company they can trust. It's going to be your experience and the end result that gives you peace of mind, because you'll know your work was done by people who care. We realized early on that if we were going to change the reputation of this industry for the better, that finding good workers that you could trust to do great work was going to be the key. We're attracting good people every day because we take care of our people. We want to make sure they feel important because they are. And we're going to make sure you feel important and valued too, with excellent customer service and high quality work. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi!
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers continue Cactus League play today against the Mariners. Bad news for outfielder Blake Perkins, however. He'll be sidelined about 8 weeks after fouling a ball off his shin during live batting practice and fractured his tibia.
I've had situations where, you kind of go down, it hurts a lot for a little bit, and then it slowly goes away. But I think, when I woke up the next day and it was really hard to walk, I was a little bit nervous.
Our next broadcast scheduled for Wednesday afternoon. Winners of 4 straight games, the Bucks travel to Houston to face the Rockets Tuesday night, and the NFL Scouting Combine begins Thursday of this week in Indianapolis.
Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We like this on a Monday. No big crashes to let you know about. It's kind of a day of disabled vehicles. The most recent one is in Kenosha County. 4194 north at the ramp from Wisconsin 50. Right shoulder is blocked due to a car that's broken down, and that's a busy spot, so some people are slowing down just a little bit to see what's going on. But other than that, we're looking pretty good.
50 degrees the high today. Roll the windows down a little bit, right? Maybe a little early to put on the AC or run the gas out of your snowblower, but we're getting there. A high of 50 degrees, breezy conditions as well. Should be a pretty good melting day, I'd like to think. 33 your overnight low. Tomorrow's high 46 under sunny skies. Chance of rain on Wednesday with a high of 45. Back into the 50s by the end of the week. 48 sunny in Milwaukee at 11:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek and Jessica Tighe.
See, I did laundry, I made a banana bread, I coached my daughter's basketball team, made a tuna pasta salad, and grocery shop. 5 things I did over the weekend.
Ooh! over the weekend.
I'm able to return home to my home after a successful weekend. Those are the 5 things that I did.
You know what's funny? Before Elon Musk was talking about this email and the 5 accomplishments that you had, I'd actually already put out an email about the accomplishments of Wisconsin's Midday News in the last week. It was like I could read their minds. Like I knew they were going to want it.
I think there were 4 things on that list. We'll have to come up with a 5th here, possibly.
I think you might be right, but they were 4 very big things.
Well, we got a lot of big things happening here today. Dennis McBride, the mayor of the city of Wauwatosa, is going to join us coming up a little later this hour. Big-time store is moving into the former space occupied by Boston Store at Mayfair Mall. We'll get the lowdown on that. Check in with ABC's Steve Roberts as well. And a very nice outlook for the week of weather. Tyler Moore joins us coming up in about 15 minutes. Some big stories that we're following here this morning.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, marking 3 years since Russia invaded Ukraine. In Kiev today, 15 world leaders, mostly from Europe, are attending a summit hosted by President Zelensky. Notably absent, the United States. Here's Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
We know we're going to have to continue to do more and more in an uncertain world, and Canada will be there. As to how we will be there, we will work with our neighbors on it, but everything is on the table because we need to make sure that might no longer makes right in this world.
Still no peace deal that would satisfy and include all parties. Some of you might be wondering where President Trump is today. He's at the White House meeting with the president of France.
Number 2, a big investment from Apple against the backdrop of tech sector layoffs and the threat of tariffs from the Trump administration. Apple is planning a major investment in United States infrastructure. ABC's Jim Ryan.
Tim Cook was at the White House last week, and while the Apple CEO was silent after his meeting with President Trump, Trump was not.
He's investing hundreds of billions of dollars. I hope he's announced it.
Cook had not. But today, Apple confirms that it'll spend $500 billion and hire 20,000 people over the next 4 years as it builds out its research and development and manufacturing within the United States. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Yeah, a number of cities across the country are going to benefit from this, but they're starting off in Texas. And there's going to be a major 250,000 square foot facility open in Houston, expected to open at some point in 2026. There'll be a footprint from Apple in 8 other states. So, you know, this is the idea. A lot of what Apple has done over the years has been done in China. Now bringing all that here to the United States. It made me think a little bit of Microsoft and what they're doing just south of where we are,
Sure.
Jessica, and just expanding the footprint and building AI data centers. It kind of what Apple is doing here, but a massive investment here in the United States.
Everything's bigger in Texas. Number 3, Milwaukee's streetcar system, the HOP, is on a reduced schedule today after a crash over the weekend. A car hit one of the streetcars Sunday afternoon near the Broadway in Wisconsin station downtown. The Department of Public Works says the driver of that car ran a red light and hit the front of the streetcar. No injuries reported. Having one streetcar out of the loop today means the HOP's M line will stop at each station every 20 minutes. Its normal schedule in weekdays is every 15 minutes. The L line is running as normal.
11:12 in WTMJ. Donald Trump 1 month into his tenure as president. So how's it going? What do the numbers say? ABC's Steve Roberts dives in after this.
Are you on track to achieve your retirement plans? Hi, I'm Jeff Kowal of Kowal Investment Group. We've recently joined Creative Planning, a national registered investment advisor. This move to Creative expands our ability to provide comprehensive wealth management, investment advisory, and retirement planning services. Now is the time to put your lifetime of hard work into action. For over 37 years, we've helped clients toward making their retirement dreams become a reality, and we'd like to help you too. And the best part, your plan will be completely tailored to you. Our in-house team of specialists will take the time to learn about you and your family, review your current situation, and find out what your goals are. Then we'll design a plan to help you get there. To get started, request your free meeting today with one of our fiduciary advisors by visiting creativeplanning.com. Whether you have met with us in the past or this will be your first meeting with us, we're excited to introduce Kowal Investment Group to you as Creative Planning. Visit creativeplanning.com today.
You should be listening to Wisconsin's Midday News each weekday from 11 to 1.
Bucks President Peter Feigin joins us live here in the studio right now.
But if you missed us, catch up anytime with Greg Matzek and Jessica Tighe by listening to the Wisconsin's Midday News podcast.
What you're seeing now is like the reality of, playing a season together, kind of, getting to know each other.
Powered by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more.
Don't forget, take us with you wherever you go. We'd love to have you with us.
Julia Fellow here. Hey, are you ready to take the plunge with me? Join us for the Special Olympics Wisconsin Polar Plunge in Milwaukee, happening March 1st at Bradford Beach. Brave souls will dive into icy waters to support local athletes. You can sign up to take the plunge or donate to Special Olympics Wisconsin. For more info and to register, visit plungewi.org or head to specialolympicswisconsin.org. Don't miss the fun and the freezing splash of a lifetime. See you at the Polar Plunge.
Well, the latest post-Ipsos poll shows Americans are actually disapproving of Donald Trump's handling of the economy 1 month into his job. 53 to 45%, the worst numbers penning the economy since 2017. What has Trump done since taking office? Well, he's doubled down on his efforts to deport illegal immigrants. He is running roughshod through the federal government, trying to right-size it. He is doing some of the things he promised. Other things regarding inflation hasn't quite gotten to it just yet. We welcome in ABC's Steve Roberts. Good morning, Steve.
Well, good morning. And look, you're right. For all the ways in which Donald Trump has dominated the news for the first month, think of the words he doesn't say. Inflation, prices, gas, groceries. The fact is that gas and groceries were the single biggest reason he was elected. But he doesn't mention those because he can't do anything about it. This bedeviled Joe Biden for 4 years, too. Presidents have very, very little ability to influence the economy. The only real federal agency that has any clout at all is the Federal Reserve because they can manipulate interest rates. But president, not so much. And as you point out, we've seen a lot of performance on the part of President Trump. He has dominated the news. He drives his car around the Daytona Speedway. He goes to the Super Bowl. Elon Musk waves a chainsaw at a Republican meeting, and he gets enormous TV coverage. But this is performance art. This isn't governing. And the real problems that folks in Milwaukee and everywhere else worry about, he hasn't really touched. Now, you can say, well, it's only been a month, and that would be a fair argument. But the other problem is Trump himself, during the campaign, fed into this notion of immediate gratification. He campaigned repeatedly by saying, these problems are easy. I'm going to fix them quickly. Well, that works as a campaign slogan. It doesn't work as a rule for governing. And it's not just a Ipsos poll. There's a CNN poll that says 62% of Americans say he's not doing enough to curb inflation. The University of Michigan, which runs the best survey of consumer confidence, last week was down 10 points. Walmart, which is the largest retailer in the country, told its investors to expect decreased sales because people are worried about inflation. They're worried about the possibility of tariffs that would raise prices. So, he's the first season of the second season of The President, his reality TV show, doing well when it comes to these high visibility performances, not so well when it comes to the problems that really affect families in Milwaukee and everywhere else.
You talk about that poll. We also have the Washington Post headline that says Trump's honeymoon is over. But Trump's hardcore backers, they don't believe the honeymoon is over, do they?
No, and Republican senators don't either. Let's remember that there are at least half a dozen nominees the president made that a lot of folks, including a lot of Republicans, privately agreed are unqualified, and yet they all were approved. So that tells you that his political strength in the Republican Party is still pretty vibrant. But there's another problem looming, which in some ways is just as threatening as inflation, if not more. And that's this. There's been a myth out there for years and years, long before Donald Trump. And Ronald Reagan kept saying, well, there are all these welfare queens who are getting federal money, to buy steaks with food stamps. There was this whole idea that the people who benefit from government programs are other people, and they're undeserving. They're not hardworking, tax-paying Americans. And there's all this waste, fraud, and abuse. Well, sure, there's plenty of waste in the federal government. Everybody understands that. But it's also true that every single family in Milwaukee and every other American town benefits in some way, directly or indirectly, from federal programs every single day. Veterans benefits, housing programs, public transport, aid to education, public safety, health clinics, on and on and on. These are all services that are related directly or indirectly to the federal government.
Steve, when Trump spoke of the economy and inflation, and really it was more regard to the tariffs, he said this is going to sting in the short term, but long term it's going to benefit us. And we see news today that Apple is doubling down in the state of Texas with a nearly $500 billion investment to try and move manufacturing to the United States, creating 20,000 jobs. It gains a huge headline because it's Apple, and Tim Cook had a meeting with Donald Trump. Is that what he's referring to, that the tariffs might sting short term here? You might not notice a reduction in the cost of goods and services, but long term, this is a long plan. It is a long game.
Well, that's fair. That's certainly a fair argument. And if the result of a lot of his jawboning is to encourage and induce companies like Apple to invest more in America, that's a good thing. And Joe Biden was doing something very similar. He encouraged through federal subsidies and programs enormous increase in federal aid to computer chip manufacturers. It's one of the things he boasted about on the campaign trail. He spent a great deal of money, federal money, on infrastructure, which would produce jobs and benefits to American communities. So that's all a good thing, absolutely. And to the extent that he can generate jobs and can improve the economy, then he's going to benefit politically, and he should benefit politically if he can do that. But the problem is that a lot of his economic theories are unproven. The fact is that virtually every economist would say, in the end, tariffs don't benefit a country; they hurt a country.
ABC Steve Roberts, always good information, Steve. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Steve.
Anytime, sure.
Coming up next, to look at the outlook of weather for the week. Is there snow on the horizon again? Not this week. Doesn't look like it. Tyler Moore joins us after this.
Adrian was seriously injured when a careless driver merged into her lane.
Gruber was there for everything that I needed. Any questions that I had, Gruber was there. They made me feel like everything about my situation and my accident was very important to them, and that made me feel good. And I would definitely call Gruber again for that.
Serving Wisconsin for over 35 years, Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They go above and beyond for their clients.
Hey, if you're looking for something simple and easy and delicious for dinner tonight, you might as well make it a Palermo's night. Everyone's going to be happy, I can promise you that. Greg Matzek, it is Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza. We had a Primo Thin over the weekend. It was nice and easy, darting around southeastern Wisconsin for soccer games and futsal and basketball. You just got to make it easy sometimes. But also, you want food to be good, don't you? Well, there you go. Primo Thin was the perfect thing for us for lunch on Saturday. Why not indulge your taste buds? You can go Primo Thin, Connie's Urban Pie. How about Screamin' Sicilian? They got a great deal on Screamin' Sicilian right now through February 25th. Still got a day or two to take advantage of this at Piggly Wiggly. Screamin' Sicilian, Detroit style, and stuffed crust pizzas just $6.99. That's right, $6.99 at Piggly Wiggly. Screamin' Sicilian, Detroit style, and stuffed crust. Stock up, load up the freezer, put one in the oven tonight. Then on the table, it's Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Many times, patients have symptoms they didn't know were actually related to their airway breathing issues.
I was suffering from sinus issues, jaw issues, and neck pain. I guess I just kind of had my breaking point.
Unfortunately, this is typical. But until you get to the root of your problem, it's going to just persist. Fortunately, Jody took action, and the results were typical as well.
My quality of life is so different, but one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Being able to breathe freely is life-changing, and the effects can go beyond that.
Sleeping better, having more energy, and it seemed as if all of those symptoms that I had just melted away.
And thank heavens for that, because at Advent, results are what drive us, helping you breathe well so you can live better.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Well, let the melting continue here. High of 50 degrees today. A pretty mild pattern here throughout the course of the week. A great day to check in with TMJ4 meteorologist Tyler Moore. Hey, Tyler.
Hey, guys. A lot better this Monday compared to last Monday.
Yeah.
Right. Where
No
were we
doubt.
last Monday again? Negative something?
It's awful.
Oh, I know the high was 8. I think the wind chill got down to close to 30 below. So, yeah, we're doing a bit better.
Well, I was thankful they had enough cold weather and snow to get the Birkebeiner event in, which is obviously a huge event in northern Wisconsin, and now they're settling into some warmer temperatures too. So it's okay for that. This is as mild a week as I can recall here for, 4 months.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we had a stretch like this. I know our last 50-degree day, which is probably what we're going to see this afternoon, was back end of January. So we normally get a couple through winter time. But yeah, to see a stretch like this of 40s and some 50s is looking pretty good for this time of year.
Wow, Gina came into work. She had the windows down, and I thought about not wearing a coat, though I did wear a coat, a lighter one. So this is just lovely. I do want to ask, though, about our chances for rain, because with this warmer weather, we're not looking at snow, we're looking at rain. When might we see it, and how much are we going to get?
Yeah, something we haven't talked about recently is rain. Yeah, it's been all snow recently or just dry and cold. So we'll have the chance for maybe a couple raindrops tonight as a weak system passes through. That's why if you look outside now, you're going to see some of those kind of high clouds, the wispy ones blocking out the sun a bit. So that's ahead of this next system that brings small chances for rain tonight. Not going to be a big deal. The good part about it is it does come during the overnight hours. Tuesday's dry. Wednesday will be our next widespread rain chances. We'll look at some scattered raindrops throughout the day, on and off on Wednesday. Not going to be a complete washout, but we'll see some rain chances Wednesday. And then watching another system on Friday. Overall, that one might stay off to our north. So not a ton of rain this week, but we could see just a few drops here or there.
Looking at the temps here, Tyler, I suppose if it rains, you also have to be concerned with the overnight temps, right? And that it could possibly freeze. Are we in kind of a dicey situation potentially with that, or will temps be warm enough?
You know, it should be warm enough after today that most the surface level ground thaws out pretty good. I will say the spots that don't get direct sunlight, shaded by trees or houses or buildings that kind of are blocked by that sun exposure, you could definitely get some refreezing throughout the overnight hours. Low temperatures will be low to mid 30s. Like we saw this morning, too. I don't know if you guys noticed, but you get that moisture on the pavement, even though it didn't rain last night. It's due to the higher humidity levels that can create a little bit of moisture on the surface. So that could easily freeze in some spots, too. So I don't want to say there's going to be widespread freezing, but there could be some isolated pockets that you might need to watch out for.
Yeah, between that and then the snow that is melting, it was definitely wet outside this morning. So, Tyler, as we look at these temperatures, it looks pretty nice. What's your pick day of the week?
Oh, I'm really loving tomorrow. I think tomorrow will be pretty good. I know today's probably going to be the warmest day with high temperatures in the low 50s, but tomorrow, 40s, a good amount of sunshine and light winds out of the northwest. It's looking like a pretty good day from start to finish as we kind of sneak in between two of these systems. Friday also doesn't look bad, though. We'll have to wait and see how it pans out with that system on Friday, but it could be a really good day on Friday that we'll have to watch as well.
So, Tyler, we're getting to that point in the winter where winter had its chance, and if winter didn't get done what it needed to get done, you blew it, right? We're getting too close to March here. I shouldn't have to be thinking or asking you about significant snowfall or bitter cold temperatures anymore.
Yeah, I think we're kind of out of the woods for at least the sub-zero temperatures. I will say, maybe as we head into the first week of March, we might see a little bit of cool down. That could bring in some snow chances, but I will say the longer range models, and you guys can hold me to this, kind of circle it on the calendar, the second half of March is looking warmer than normal, and we could see a little early spring, consistent, nice temperatures by the end of the March. So we'll wait and see if that verifies. But right now, a lot of the models are showing that.
Okay, not what the groundhog said, but meteorologist Tyler Moore saying it. I'm going with you, Tyler.
Yeah, in time for opening day, we hope, too. We'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Tyler. We'll check it again next week.
All right, have a good one, guys.
You do the same. 11:27 on WTMJ. News is coming up.
Nestled in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest lies the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Fox and Hounds. Journey through 90 years of history in the timbered stone structure. It's gorgeous. And when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free 7 days a week. An amazing deal at an amazing place. Choice steaks, ribs, seafood, pasta, a big fresh salad, even the steak and lobster, any entree, your second dinner's free. The Fox and Hounds desserts, and I love those, and huge ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. Unwind with an old-fashioned, a Manhattan, 20 bourbons on their bourbon list, over 100 fine wines, 8 elegant dining rooms with real wood-burning fireplaces. Wherever you live, it's worth the spectacular drive through the Kettle Moraine for your free dinner. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill, a Top Choice Award winner for fine dining and most romantic restaurant. Take your family to the Fox and Hounds this week. Half your dinners are free. I love this place. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
It's 11:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Monday, February 24th. Your top story marking 3 years since the invasion of Ukraine.
I'm Jessica Tighe. An upside-down car by the Milwaukee airport.
Mild stretch of weather beginning today. Mostly cloudy, breezy, and mild to the high of 50 degrees. Isolated chance of some rain tonight. It'll be mild with a low of 33. Staying above freezing. That's good news. Tuesday looks like a beautiful day. Partly cloudy to mostly sunny and a high of 46. It's currently 50, partly sunny and breezy in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. 3 years after Russia invaded Ukraine, the UN General Assembly adopted a resolution called Advancing a Comprehensive, Just, and Lasting Peace in Ukraine. It comes as Ukraine is facing new pressure from President Trump. ABC's Ian Pannell has more.
The president falsely blaming Ukraine for Russia's ongoing assault, and now demanding Zelensky sign a deal to pay the US $500 billion. Zelensky pushing back, saying Ukraine received $100 billion in aid and noting that the money was given as a grant approved by Congress.
President Trump today hosting French President Emmanuel Macron at the White House. Earlier, both leaders took part in a G7 phone call on Ukraine. Pope Francis remains in critical condition at a Rome hospital fighting double pneumonia. And word today, Grammy-winning singer Roberta Flack has died. Best known for her 70s hit, including Killing Me Softly with his song, Flack announced in 2022 she was battling ALS. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 11:31. As his country marks 3 years since Russia's invasion, Ukrainian President Zelensky says he would step down if it meant peace for his country. Over the weekend, Zelensky said he would willingly trade his position for immediate NATO membership. Meanwhile, in Milwaukee, Ukrainian supporters are rallying downtown.
We actually have quite a sizable diaspora here. It's estimated that we have close to 10,000 Ukrainians or people with Ukrainian roots in Wisconsin, and we might have even more newcomers.
Karina Twaddell is a board member with Wisconsin Ukrainians. She's one of about 200 people who gathered with blue and yellow flags near Museum Center Park on Wisconsin Avenue on Sunday.
My parents actually had to flee their home when the Russian tanks started rolling down their street in Donetsk. That area continues being occupied by Russia.
In Milwaukee, Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
One person is in custody after a car flipped onto its roof overnight near Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. Police say the driver lost control and rolled the car over near Howell and Edgerton. Happened around 2:30 this morning. The driver, a 36-year-old man, is now being treated for serious injuries. He was also arrested for suspicion of OWI.
Well, the Hop streetcar is now running in a limited capacity following a crash Sunday in downtown Milwaukee. The Department of Public Works says a car ran a red light and crashed into the streetcar near Broadway in Wisconsin. No injuries reported. The streetcar will be running on a reduced schedule on the M line, which services to stations every 20 minutes.
8 people are without a place to stay in Madison after an apartment fire overnight. Crews say the fire started on the second floor of the Fisher-Taft apartments just after midnight. No injuries. The cause of the fire is now under investigation.
As cleanup continues following the devastating wildfires in Southern California, the head of the L.A. Fire Department, who does have a Wisconsin connection, has been given the pink slip.
6 weeks after the most destructive wildfire in L.A. history, Mayor Karen Bass ousting the city's fire chief Kristen Crowley late last week amid a public rift over wildfire preparations. At least 29 people have died from the Palisades and Eaton fires that are now fully contained. Crowley was named fire chief in 2022 and grew up in Green Bay, attending Notre Dame Academy. Crowley was the first woman to be named chief of the LA Fire Department in its nearly 140-year history. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:34.
You can accomplish quite a lot in 6 years. You go from changing diapers to dropping your child off at school. You can get a bachelor's and a master's degree. And you can take up to 6 years to pay off your brand new Pella windows and doors at 0% interest. You get so much more than stunning windows and doors. It's the Pella experience. Talk about quality control. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 3/8/25.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
I've always believed that great service makes all the difference. At Waterstone Bank, it's more than just banking. It's personal. When I needed help choosing an account, my banker took the time to understand my needs and guided me through my options. Thanks to her advice, I can watch my money grow, knowing it's secure.
Welcome to your Waterstone Bank, where community and personal service come together. Member FDIC.
Are you ready to embark on a voyage like no other? At Fox World Travel, our specialty cruise desk creates unforgettable cruise experiences just for you. Explore the serene Mediterranean, the exotic Caribbean, or the breathtaking beauty of Alaska. We partner with top cruise lines including Celebrity, Holland America, Royal Caribbean, and Viking. Enjoy personalized itineraries, exclusive deals, and expert guidance. From booking to boarding, we manage all the details for a stress-free experience. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO, press 2, and mention code radio to start planning.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. The Brewers continue Cactus League play today against the Mariners. Not for outfielder Blake Perkins, however. He's got a fractured tibia.
I've had situations where, you kind of go down. It hurts a lot for a little bit, and then it slowly goes away. But I think, when I woke up the next day and it was really hard to walk, I was a little bit nervous.
Yeah, he fouled a ball off of his tibia during a live batting practice session, enough to fracture it. Not good. Our next broadcast scheduled for Wednesday afternoon. Perkins expected to miss at least 8 weeks. Bucks have won 4 straight games. They will be in Houston to face the Rockets Tuesday night. And the NFL Scouting Combine begins Thursday of this week in Indianapolis.
Let's get you an update on the roads right now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. No crashes, which is great news, but we do have a couple disabled vehicles out on the system, and one that's causing a problem just popped up 15 minutes ago since our last update. It's on 4145 South, just a little bit beyond the ramp from Capitol Drive. The right lane is blocked due to a car that's broken down. And I want to let you know about this one specifically, not just because it's new, but it is causing backups right now. It looks like a tow truck is already at the scene, which is good news, so hopefully it's out of here quickly. But because that tow truck is out there right now, there is a decent backup. Not very long, but it goes all the way up to the Menominee River Parkway.
Mostly cloudy today, breezy, very mild, a high of 50 degrees. Chance of rain tonight, a low of 33. Tuesday looks like a beautiful day. Partly cloudy to mostly sunny with a high of 46. We stay in the mid-40s throughout the week, and then a little bump on Friday with a high of 50. It is 50 and partly sunny in Milwaukee at 11:37.
Pouring into Friday's big announcement that Scheels is coming to the old Boston store location at Mayfair Mall in Wauwatosa. Scheels is a sporting goods store headquartered in Fargo, North Dakota. I'll tell you what, I had my little sister came down to visit yesterday. We went to the Bucks game, and she's from the Appleton area, and I told her that we were getting a Scheels, and she was like, Scheels? That's great. People are excited about this.
It's a massive store. I've been to a couple in the Mall of America. As a matter of fact, it was the first time I laid foot in a Scheels. There's definitely competition from a sporting goods perspective, but this is the first mall anchor tenant in a sporting goods store that I can recall.
This is a big deal. The store will employ more than 500 people, making it one of Wauwatosa's largest employers. And the mayor of Wauwatosa, Dennis McBride, joins us live in the studio to give us some of the behind-the-scenes details about the deal and talk about the vision for the space once it's all said and done. Thanks for joining us, Mayor.
Thank you. If you have 3 years, I can tell you all the details, but I think I'm going to keep it a little shorter than that. Scheels would like me to tell you that this is not just a sporting goods store, and it isn't. It's really more than that. It's a kind of a recreation space. It's a game space. It's got cafes. It's going to have a coffee shop and a candy shop and all. So it's more than a sporting goods store. It's an experience, and I think it adds something to Mayfair Mall and to the Mayfair corridor that we don't just have hotels and stores, but we have something for people to do.
So how did the city make this happen?
Well, first of all, the Boston store has been vacant since 2018. It's a 67-year-old building full of asbestos and a leaky roof and all that. Nobody wanted to buy it. It went through a couple of auctions. We bought it. The city bought it through our Community Development Authority, so we could control the destiny of that end of Mayfair. A lot of other not-so-good uses were being proposed. So we bought it, and then we negotiated with a variety of anchors, but also with Brookfield Properties, who owns the bulk of the mall. And this is a complicated land swap. So this isn't just the sporting goods store. We're going to swap land with Brookfield Properties. They're going to sell the land in the store to Scheels, and Brookfield's going to give us other land. And so this is the linchpin to the whole redevelopment of the South End. That allows us to sell the land to Barrett Lowe, which is going to develop 976 apartments out there. So this is a real big deal.
So who makes first contact? Do you reach out to different retailers, different companies like Scheels, or do they come looking at you saying, hey, things are going well in Appleton and different parts of the state and the Midwest, but we could use a Milwaukee presence?
Scheels has been nibbling at Mayfair probably for the entire time since this vacancy came up in 2018. It wanted a presence in southeastern Wisconsin. By the way, thank you to your sister for saying great deal, but this is going to be more than twice as big as Appleton and about twice as big as Eau Claire. So this is, again, a big deal. But Scheels was interested. We've been told by other retailers that this spot, Mayfair Mall, is the prime retail spot in southeastern Wisconsin. And we know that because the mall is the prime mall in the entire state. We are the leading retail destination in the state of Wisconsin with that and the Mayfair collection. So they wanted to be here. Brookfield Properties needed an anchor. Nordstrom had an agreement that there needed to be 2 other anchors, so this is important to keep Nordstrom. Macy's wanted to make sure there was another anchor at the other end of the mall because when Mayfair opened, it was Marshall Field's on the north and Gimbel's on the south. That's important for a mall. I've been saying all along that Mayfair, there's going to be one winner in the shopping mall wars in Milwaukee. And I think I've been proven right. Mayfair is it right now. Bayshore struggled. Brookfield Square is literally being torn down. Northridge is being torn down. Southridge is struggling, and they're going to try to do what we're doing with Barrett Lowe. Mayfair is thriving, even without this store.
Well, I will agree with you. I went quickly. My husband's birthday is tomorrow. I ran out there on Saturday, and I knew exactly where I wanted to go. And it took me longer probably to find a parking spot than it did to do what I needed to do there. But I had made a mention that, wow, it is really busy today. But also, I was just a couple weeks ago at Brookfield Square, where I grew up going to, and I knew that they were struggling a bit, but I was shocked to see at how many stores were closed. So I guess my question to you is, how is Mayfair still thriving when so many other malls are just really trying to stay alive?
Well, first of all, I have to quote the philosopher Yogi Berra and say nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded. A lot of people go, I don't go to Mayfair. Well, a lot of people do. We have 18 million people a year going to Mayfair. 18 million. That's 49,000 people a day, workers and everybody else going there. That's bigger than filling up American Family Field.
How do you count that? You click, click, click as they're walking in the door?
I don't know. That's the numbers that's been given to me, and it's a great number.
Yeah.
This also adds, by the way, I have to add this. Wauwatosa's the 14th largest city in the state at night. During the day, we're the 4th largest after Milwaukee, Madison, and Green Bay because we have the state's largest shopping mall, the state's largest medical center, and all. Wauwatosa is a happening place. We get a lot of foot traffic in Wauwatosa. So that's one answer to your question. The second answer is the Zoo Interchange is the busiest interchange in the state of Wisconsin. It's at our southwest corner. Mayfair itself has gone through multiple evolutions. I predate Mayfair. It was opened in 1958. It's gone through many evolutions, and I've seen them all, from an open-air mall to a closed mall. And each owner has done really smart things. But I think more than anything, it's our location. We are in the middle of the metro area. Bayshore, unfortunately, has the lake about a mile away. You can't get any shoppers off the lake. We're right in the middle. We've got Brookfield and Elm Grove. We've got the density and the buying power in Wauwatosa. People come from all over to shop at Mayfair. And look at the stores we've got there. We've got one-of-a-kind stores.
Before the food court was even there, my earliest days of Mayfair were sitting at a corner McDonald's with my brother and my grandma, and then we'd go ice skating.
I was going to say, everybody brings up the ice rink.
Yeah, it was cool. And then they went through this transition where they had these beautiful wood bridges and bamboo was everywhere.
Right.
I've been going there for 40 years.
They've stayed ahead of the curve on all of that. But we've got the Container Store. Nobody else has that. We've got Crate and Barrel. Nobody else has that. We've got Nordstrom. Nobody else has that. I could go down the list. But they've done the right things, and Wauwatosa has supported them all the way. We are partners in this whole thing.
I wanted to ask you about the retail component of this. You said nearly 1,000 units, right? 900 some odd units?
You mean the apartments?
Yes, the apartments. So this is an impressive number. It always amazes me. You drive out to Brookfield to the corners and whatnot. There's apartments above where you're eating tacos. And it's like, well, why would people want to live there? But I've been proven wrong. People do want to live, work, and play kind of in that same area in a retail district. Do you sense the demand in that space for the apartments that'll be built?
Absolutely. Barrett Lowe, who's going to develop these apartments, built the Couture downtown, does a lot in Chicago. They said this real estate is as desirable as the Gold Coast in Chicago. That's pretty amazing. I was just talking to your friend John Mercure, and he was talking about his daughter in New York. I was talking about my daughter in New York. I lived in New York. I went to law school there. And I have a daughter there now, and everywhere you go in New York and Manhattan, there are 20 floors of apartments above retail. So this isn't a new concept. And really, if you look at shopping malls, they developed as alternatives to downtowns. We had our old village area is our little downtown, and we used to be able to go. I had my doctor down there, my dentist, the post office, the police station, the grocery stores, and all that. Shopping malls were intended to create that, but what they forgot was that people lived around these downtowns. And so now they're saying, hey, you know what? We need shoppers to live here so that they can be literally connected by footbridge or, tube or whatever, and go and buy their clothing and go to the movie theater and buy all the things they need. And by the way, maybe we'll get dinner tonight. To me, it's a no-brainer.
We're talking with Wauwatosa Mayor Dennis McBride about the big news, that the announcement, we told you about it on Friday, that Scheels is coming to the old Boston store location at Mayfair Mall in Wauwatosa. Can you kind of paint the picture for people when this is all said and done? Because as you talk about, it's not just Scheels, it's Scheels and all these apartments as well. I think there are some people wondering, how does it all fit and how do we all make this work? So can you kind of paint the picture as to what this should all look like when it's all said and done? First
of all, Scheels, of course, it's got a very aggressive schedule. They want to open in 2 years, and they're going to really tear apart that building and put it back together. The foundation will stay probably the superstructure, but the rest of it's going to be renovated. It's going to be a lot more attractive, and they're going to landscape the parking lot. One thing I hate about shopping malls and strip malls is where are the trees, where are the bushes? Well, they're going to have a lot of that, so it's going to be attractive. The apartment buildings are going to be built around on the south end of the mall. There's an existing parking garage. Some of that will be utilized for the apartments. It's underutilized right now. Half of that parking structure, no one ever parks in. Part of it is used by the hotel, so they will continue to use that. Barrett Lowe will use some of that parking structure. The Nordstrom parking garage will be torn down in part and integrated into the Barrett Lowe development. There will be little plazas and green space there as well. It's going to look more like what the rest of Wauwatosa looks like. It's going to look like a city. It's going to look a little more urban. It's going to look a lot less like a bunch of asphalt surrounding a spaceship, which is what what shopping malls usually look like, right?
Well, exciting developments here for the city of Wauwatosa. Mayor Dennis McBride joining us. In a couple of years, Shields will be open. Maybe we'll get a coffee there together. Or was it Fizzy Wigs? What is that the name of the candy store?
Fuzzy Wigs candy shop or something.
We'll have a good time there, though.
Yes.
Exciting development, Mayor.
Yes.
This is great stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks for
the opportunity. See you.
Thank you. It's 11:48 on WTMJ.
How would you like to own a jewelry store? Kessler's Diamonds is an employee-owned company.
And Kessler's is growing. Are you the kind of person we're looking for?
Does it make you happy to make other people happy? Are you a problem solver?
Would you like to wake up every morning knowing that you're going to help a lot of people find joy today?
Kessler's Diamonds is people serving people. Keep in mind that Kessler's is owned by its employees. So let me ask you this. Are you a good enough leader that you can be an owner who leads other owners?
Don't worry, you don't have to know about diamonds. We can teach you about diamonds. But the people we're looking for aren't looking for a job.
Did someone pop into your head just now? Do you think you might know who we're looking for?
Give that person a call.
Send them an email. Tell them to walk into Kessler's Diamonds and say to the person who greets them,
I think I want to work here.
Welcome to Kessler's. A fantastic place to buy jewelry and a wonderful place to work.
For the store nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Grab your to-do list and head to Fleet Farm for Project Days, happening now through the 26th. Carhartt fans get a free $20 gift card with every $100 worth of Carhartt gear. Good on your next Fleet Farm purchase. Sprout Sweet Mix for horses and livestock is just $8.99 a bag. And save $50 on a Milwaukee M18 Compact Brushless Drill Driver Kit, now only $149. And save big on Milwaukee tools during Milwaukee Deal Days, February 20th through the 26th at Fleet Farm.
Tune in on Sundays at 10 a.m. for the AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show. Join AccuNet's Brian and David Wickert for the most up-to-date information on mortgage trends, along with timely news on the real estate market. The housing market is in flux, but the national headlines don't often fit local market conditions. Find out what's really happening on the front lines of real estate and mortgage financing in Wisconsin and make better decisions by tuning in every Sunday at 10 a.m. The AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show with Brian and David Wickert on WTMJ.
You're right, and I'll agree. It does sound too good to be true, but offering you affordable treatment that alleviates pain, which really does work, that we've seen in most cases insurance paid for in full, is a definite reality. It's pain relief, really. And these are FDA-approved treatments. They're safe and proven to reduce inflammation and alleviate pain. Yeah, you'll have to get a couple of shots, and I know that can scare people. But the needle is extremely small. And after giving shots like this hundreds of thousands of times, you'll see we make it very easy. You're going to feel the relief that our powerful pain relief agents give you. They're pain relief drugs that solve pain problems. And the way I feel is that Rejuvenex should be the first stop for anyone living with pain in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. At $65 per joint, per injection, it's probably the most affordable pain relief option available that actually works.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex Google reviews will tell you more.
A little mix of sun and clouds today, a high of 50 degrees. Going to be breezy. Overnight low 33. Might see a little bit of rain. Tomorrow looks like a beautiful day. Mostly sunny skies and a high of 46. In the mid-40s throughout the week. A little bump on Friday with a high of 50. It's 50 degrees and mostly cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:52.
Kind of neat. I always love when there's a new tool you can use just to make whatever you're doing easier. So Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport, they have this new tool. It's called the Where We Fly tool, and it's interactive. Okay, a tool number one, then it's interactive. Boom, 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 boom.
Sign
boom.
me up.
Right? So it's really neat. It's kind of, you go on to, if you just go to Mitchell's website and then you look under flights and airlines, it's right under there. You click Where We Fly, and then kind of a map comes up and it shows you the destinations. It's a 3D route map, so you can see all of Milwaukee's nonstop destinations and click on any of them to explore its offerings, which is kind of cool. So like right now, I just went on real quick here during the commercial break. I picked Atlanta because, Greg, I know you might have some plans to be going down to Atlanta soon. So boom, it comes up and you can check out the aquarium, and you hit on it, and it's kind of neat. And it'll show you, it's got video of it, it's got little nugget points, and then you can go and check out your flights as well. It's just a handy dandy tool. You can sort by filters for like destination, the flight duration, some of your personal interests, specific airlines. But the thing I really like about it is it's really handy. You can see the flights, and then you can also explore the destinations.
So it's kind of like a mini Orbitz, right?
Kinda,
so typically you might go to Orbitz, or you might go directly to an airline website to book your flights. But this sort of spits up all your opportunities if you want to fly to Atlanta, which airlines are flying there. Here's the flight schedule. And then if you see a flight you like, then you click on the link, and it takes you to the portal for Delta or American or United. But you can start sort of in that Milwaukee Mitchell International website hub and get some information, things to do, the flight schedule, direct flight or not, what is it, nonstop? Do I need a layover somewhere? It's kind of interesting. I've never thought to go to the actual airport's website for flight information.
Right. Same here. But I like the fact that if you're thinking, okay, I want to see if Milwaukee flies directly there, and maybe it's a new city, you see, boom, yes, I can fly out at noon, I can fly out at 6 o'clock tonight. And then if it's a new city for you, all of a sudden you've got like 6 little things you can go to, whether it's a museum or a park or an attraction. I think that's pretty cool. You can also, I haven't done this yet, I haven't had enough time to check it out in full, but also there's a spot where you can build an itinerary. So you can actually save destination attractions to a custom playlist, and then you can share it with your family and friends.
That's fascinating.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of interesting. I don't know if it has a section of it where it says you might leave Milwaukee, but you may not end up at the destination you had intended on arriving to.
Whoop, whoop.
So this happened in New York, right? JFK flight for New Delhi ends up having to land in Rome.
That plane touching down in Rome, passengers bussed to the terminal for screening as authorities conducted a security sweep of the aircraft.
Everything was surprisingly calm. Like, in your mind, trying to play out scenarios like that, you think people were in a panic.
In a statement, Americans saying the flight was diverted due to a possible security concern, adding safety and security are our top priorities, and we apologize to our customers for the inconvenience.
Yeah, it's ABC's Morgan Norwood. Could you imagine you're over the Atlantic and the pilot comes off and just says, all right, if you look out to your left, you'll see the Atlantic Ocean. And if you look to your right, you'll see an Italian Air Force fighter jet who will help guide us to Rome. We're now going to Rome.
I'd rather hear that, though, than not have the pilot come on, and then all of a sudden I'm just looking out the window. Because I like to look out the window. It's like, especially when you're coming in. If you're coming into a city, you can check it out as you're landing. Or the beautiful clouds. If it's, it's a sunny day and you're above the clouds. I'd rather hear the pilot come on and tell me why there are fighter jets outside than all of a sudden just see them.
Yes, please explain why our plane is now surrounded by Italian fighter jets. So they had to land in Rome and spend the night because the crew, and you understand this, you only got so many hours in your day to fly. So the crew had to spend the night in Rome. The passengers had to spend the night. I can only imagine going through customs, right? You go to the customs person and they say, how long are you going to be here? And you say, I don't know. Why are you here? I still don't know.
Hopefully not long because I didn't plan to be here.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So yes, expected to take off today and end up in New Delhi. It was deemed a non-credible bomb threat, but enough to raise concern, to be sure. It's 11:56. News is coming up.
The Upswing with Jeff Sherman.
Todd McLeese from humanskills.ai. I think there's this growing sentiment, Todd, that all these tools, there's some privacy concerns.
At IRS and other government agencies, there are people in the mix. Now, when you talk about DOGE and headcount reduction and so forth, maybe there's some concern there, but I don't think we're there yet.
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
For every inadequacy and sin in your life, you and I have help. You have a Savior in Jesus Christ. God loves you so much, He is joyful to rescue you, to do His divine rehab of your life. It's good to be with Jesus.
We revisit a classic message from Pastor Gregory Seltz this week on The Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
SemperFiRoofing.com.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
It's like being trapped in a cage. And I know, that sounds dramatic, but your breathing triangle problem has got you trapped. And once you're freed, you're going to be able to live the life that you're missing out on. Now, this can simply mean experiencing the true pleasure of breathing freely. It will mean better sleep and more energy. And the worry of this problem any more affecting your life is going to be gone. Because in almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it's a one and done. Because we're not in the business of delivering Band-Aids. We want to fix your nasal breathing problem for good. We don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Isn't it time you break free from that cage? Take the next step. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12:01. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, February 24th. Your top story, arrests after a teen dies in a burning vehicle.
I'm Jessica Tighe. An email prompts a lawsuit.
Cloudy, breezy, mild today, a high of 50 degrees. Showers possible tonight, then patchy fog, a low of 33. Tuesday looks great, partly to mostly sunny, and a high of 46. 50 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:01 from the WTMJ breaking newsroom. 4 people arrested in connection to a 15-year-old found dead in a burning vehicle earlier this month on Milwaukee's north side. A 39-year-old woman, 24-year-old man, a 21-year-old man, and 21-year-old woman have all been arrested with charges pending. 15-year-old Mackay Kenneth Neal was found dead inside a burned-out car near 26th and Locust on February 10th. He was not identified by the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's Office until a week later.
The largest federation of unions in the entire United States is suing over Elon Musk's 5 Things email.
The AFL-CIO is suing the federal government and OPM over the email sent to federal employees over the weekend, requiring them to submit 5 things they did last week or risk being fired. According to the complaint, no OPM rule, regulation, policy, or program has ever in United States history purported to require all federal workers to submit reports to OPM. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, the White House.
A town hall in Oshkosh, it's Congressman Glenn Grothman telling NBC 26 he fully supports the Department of Government Efficiency's efforts to curb federal spending.
I'm going to give Doge some of my own ideas on how to cut spending. So yes, it's always a good time to have an agency out there whose goal it is not to add more spending, but to reduce some of the spending that's already happening.
And the Wisconsin version of DOGE, the Assembly Committee on Government Operations, Accountability, and Transparency, has not held a meeting since it was announced by Assembly Speaker Robin Vos last year.
The Racine Unified School District is back online after a cybersecurity breach.
The district says student data was not impacted, but that a security breach at Racine Unified did affect the staff's personal information. The breach also caused some internal tech issues at the district for about 2 months. The Racine Journal-Times says the district now back online and offering free credit monitoring and identity protection services to all employees. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Well, 8 people are without a place to stay in Madison after an overnight apartment fire. Crews say the fire started on the 2nd floor at the Fisher-Taft Apartments just after midnight. No injuries reported. The fire's cause is still under investigation.
Starbucks is getting ready for a big round of layoffs.
The new CEO at Starbucks has a mission to reduce the complexity of the company's structure and to eliminate silos in the company. He says slow down communication. So to streamline operations, Starbucks will be laying off about 1,100 of its 16,000 corporate employees. Those impacted will be notified by midday Tuesday. Baristas in stores and those who work in roasting and warehouses will not be affected. Alex Stone, EBC News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. We've got some mixed results, primarily good news, though. The Dow up nearly 200 points at 43,611. The only index lagging is the NASDAQ, down about 55 points today at 19,469. S&P is up about 10 at 6,021. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. It's financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Milwaukee Bucks are on a roll with wins. Stay close. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is coming up on 12:05.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. And they're the best. Let them make outdoor living unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
As clutch
of a player to ever play basketball.
It's game time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and H&R benefits consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers get a win and suffer a loss. In the first weekend of Cactus League play, they'll continue today against the Mariners. Outfielder Blake Perkins sidelined about 8 weeks after fouling a ball off his shin during live batting practice and fracturing his tibia.
I've had situations where, like, you kind of go down, it hurts a lot for a little bit, and then it slowly goes away. But I think, like, when I woke up the next day and it was really hard to walk, I was a little bit nervous.
Our next broadcast scheduled for Wednesday afternoon, and the Bucks have won 4 straight games. They occupy the 5th position in the Eastern Conference playoff race. The Bucks travel to Houston to face the Rockets Tuesday night.
Checking out the roads for you with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. We are still dealing with this disabled vehicle on 4145 South, real close to the ramp from Capitol. It's a busy spot right there. The right lane is blocked due to a car that's broken down. Once again, this is 4145 South, right by Capitol Drive. And I want to let you know about this one specifically because it is creating a decent backup. The backup all the way past the Menominee River Parkway, all the way past Hampton Avenue. There is a tow truck out there already, but I will note that that tow truck has been out there for at least 20 minutes. So I'm a little bit surprised that they haven't moved things along faster, but that's where we are right now. There is a tow truck out there, an emergency responder out there as well, but because of this disabled vehicle that they're trying to get out of there, 4145 South near Capitol Drive is significantly slow right now.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox & Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy one dinner, get one free tonight at the historic Fox & Hounds Supper Club, including steak and lobster. And desserts are buy one, get one free. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Breezy and mild today, a mix of clouds and sun, a high of 50 degrees. Isolated showers possible tonight. Still mild, a low of just 33. Tuesday looks great, partly to mostly sunny with a high of 46. Rain chances grow on Wednesday with a high of 45. 43 your high on Thursday. 50 the high on Friday. It is 50 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek and Jessica Tighe.
I don't know if it has anything to do with the Cactus League season starting, but it started to think spring a little bit when I heard Jeff Levering and Lane Grindle on the broadcast on Saturday.
I thought you were going to say you started to sing, and I wanted to hear it.
No, I don't think anybody wants to hear me sing. That would not be pleasant. But yes, hearing baseball on the radio again, I know we're missing Bob Uecker, and we will miss him throughout the year and forever. But it was great to hear baseball back, and now you're talking about temperatures in the 50s, and we're about a month away from opening day. Things start to happen here once you get toward the back end and then out of the month of February.
We are really close to hitting 50. We're 47 degrees right now in Milwaukee. Yeah, mostly cloudy, but you see some sun out there as well. And we were talking about earlier, our producer Gina, she came in with the windows rolled down. I know some other people were doing that. And when you mentioned windows rolling down, I went like this. If you're watching us right now on streaming, you can see. I don't know why my mind went to...
old, like 1985 Toyota Camry window roll down? Instead of the
my
button?
First car, my Chevy Cavalier. I did have that one for a long time. I was like the news lady still in the Quad Cities, going to McDonald's to get my coffee in the middle of the night because I went into work so early, and I'd be like rolling down the window still. But when you said that, my mind just, instead of pressing the button, it went
crank.
to rolling down the window. That was a time.
It's all automated these days.
That was a time.
12:10 on WTMJ, on top of some big stories here as we flip to the noon hour on a Monday.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Confusion today as tens of thousands of federal workers got an email over the weekend demanding they list their accomplishments from the last week. Or, as Elon Musk warned on X, face losing their jobs. But some Trump cabinet members are now pushing back on that email. ABC's senior political correspondent Rachel Scott has the latest.
Newly confirmed FBI Director Kash Patel telling employees to pause on responding. And the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, writing, Given the inherently sensitive and classified nature of our work, employees should not respond. The State Department and Pentagon telling employees to hold off, too. Some Republicans on Capitol Hill expressing concern.
And listen to this. Just hours ago, Elon Musk tweeted, "Those who do not take the email seriously will soon be furthering their career elsewhere."
Well, now you just end up in this confusing sort of space, right? I mean, if you've done a lot or just had a normal work week, it should take you 5 minutes to respond to the email, right?
It should be an easy thing, but it's the whole confusion over
Exactly.
You must do this, and then somebody else saying, no, don't do that. It's like, I think that's where it's like, well, okay, what the heck?
I know, and now you feel sort of stuck. Yes, it shouldn't be difficult to list off 5 things you did as part of a productive work week at all. But yes, very much a confusing state. 12:12 here in WTMJ, the Vatican releasing an update on the health of Pope Francis. He remains hospitalized in Rome. And the news is not good. Double pneumonia, mild kidney failure among the issues here facing the 88-year-old.
Kidney insufficiency is often a common complication or finding that we see in individuals who are battling severe illness or hospitalization. And it can range from pretty insignificant mild injury to more florid kidney dysfunction, more serious.
It's emergency physician Dr. Stephanie Widmer talking to ABC News. There was some signs of progress last week that he was sitting up and he was having conversations and laughing a little bit. But this is certainly not a positive sign here for the Pope.
Does not look good. Well, experts warn you could pay more this year for spring break travel. How much more? That's always the big question, right? ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the details.
An airline trade group predicts a 4% increase in travelers between March 1st and April 30th. Airfares will be up by about 4% as well. Experts recommend avoiding travel around Easter and Passover to save some money. Orlando and Las Vegas are some of the top destinations.
Most travelers are looking for warmer weather destinations for spring break, but not everybody. AAA just put out a list of the top 10 domestic destinations for spring break this year, and Chicago is one of them.
That's kind of interesting, and I wonder how much of that is people looking to drive somewhere because flying is just kind of nutty. And then you think about it, it's especially crazy going to warmer weather climates. So you want to fly to Orlando, you want to fly to San Diego, you want to go to Mexico, who knows? You're definitely going to pay a premium if you fly during spring break time.
Oh,
but,
for sure.
You know, if you're in the Midwest, you're just looking for not a staycation, but driving distance, about 6 hours to Louisville. We've done that. It's not too long to get to Indianapolis if you want to go there. But Chicago definitely got a lot of things happening.
I mean, Chicago's a great city, no doubt. Another one of the top domestic destinations, according to AAA this year, Greg. You'll like this one. Atlanta, because you're looking to go there. Or you guys are. It's done. It's a done deal.
The last few years, we've gone to wherever the NCAA tournament has been. And I know the obvious, they're playing in Milwaukee this year, too, with the first and second rounds. That's almost too easy, though. We'd like to get away for a few days. Last couple of years, we've driven. This year, we are going to fly. But it definitely costs more to fly to Atlanta than it would at really any other point of the year aside of maybe Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, well, Atlanta, one of the top domestic destinations for spring break this year.
There you go. 12:14 on WTMJ. Our favorite spring breaker, Tim Sheehy, joins us after this.
Whatever you want to call this season, we're over it. Time to look forward to
fly ball, right field. It is deep. It is gone.
Spring training is finally here and back on the radio.
Swing and fly ball, right center field. It is up. It is gone.
Make sure to catch our next spring training broadcast as the Brewers take on the Dodgers Wednesday at 2. No matter the season, we are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Helping people and families seriously injured in accidents and standing up for victims to take the burden off their shoulders. Talking about Gruber Law Offices here, it really is a one call, that's all sort of situation. If you've been hurt in an accident, you make a call to Gruber and they will handle the legal aspect while you focus on healing. That's exactly what you want to be doing if you've been hurt in an accident. It's talking about Gruber, 40 years in business and a family-run business right here in Milwaukee. Gruber-law.com. If you've been hurt in an accident, check them out online. You can also make that phone call, 414-276-6666. One of the largest personal injury firms in the Midwest. They are family-owned and operated, but a large and powerful team. They got all the resources necessary to help fight the insurance companies. It's Gruber-law.com.
Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? We are too. At Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. We're proud to be your one true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. That's right in your backyard. Whether you're opening your first account, buying a home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have tailored solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank at Wintrust.com. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp Banks. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Grab your to-do list and head to Fleet Farm for Project Days, happening now through the 26th. Carhartt fans get a free $20 gift card with every $100 worth of Carhartt gear. Good on your next Fleet Farm purchase. Sprout Sweet Mix for horses and livestock is just $8.99 a bag. And save $50 on a Milwaukee M18 Compact Brushless Drill Driver Kit, now only $149. And save big on Milwaukee tools during Milwaukee Deal Days, February 20th through the 26th at Fleet Farm.
A high of 50 degrees today. Going to be breezy, little pop of sun here now and then, but primarily cloudy. Overnight low 33. Tomorrow looks great. Sunny and a high of 46. We stay in the 40s throughout the week. Little bump on Friday up to 50. 52, according to my little thermometer here, and partly sunny in Milwaukee. 12:15 on a Monday, our weekly check-in with MMAC Senior Advisor Tim Sheehy. Tim, we'd like you to list off 5 things you did productive over the weekend. So we continue this segment.
5 productive things?
5 productive things. Hey, we're following Elon's lead here. Did you do 5 things that you view as productive?
No, weekends are for non-productive things.
No, we can take him to the week. It doesn't have to be the weekend, right? It was last week.
All of last week?
How about all of last week?
Prepared for the radio.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, singularly, the most important thing. It's always great to have you in. We've been talking a lot about population demographics here in the state of Wisconsin. Who's buying a home, who's not selling a home, decline in birth rates, where the population is heading. And there's always interesting studies and numbers about which cities attract the most new residents in a given year. Recently, what have you found about Wisconsin and where it ranks on this overall list?
Yeah, so this one about attracting residents is really, I mean, the data's from the state, right, Wisconsin. But it was interesting. In 23, 88% of the population didn't move. So it's a smaller number of people that are moving, but it's still 7 million people moving throughout the United States. And what's important for a state of Wisconsin that has declining birth rates, right, and a shrinking population is, what's the net migration? How many people moved out of Wisconsin versus how many people moved into Wisconsin? And so here's a list of 50 states. I was surprised. Where do you think Wisconsin would rank?
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I would say top 25%.
Okay,
that's largely due to schools, education. I'm thinking for families and what might be attractive here in the state.
Wisconsin was actually 15 on the list.
Oh,
so
okay.
It was higher than I thought.
Yeah.
Now, if you think about it, Texas drew a net 137,000. Florida was second at 136,000.
Tax reasons behind that. You'd have to think.
Weather maybe, and stuff like that. And Wisconsin was a plus 17. So I don't want to compare us to Texas or Florida, but if you think about the Big Ten, right, the other Midwest states, so Wisconsin had a net gain of 17,000. Indiana was the only other one ahead of us at 32,000. Michigan actually lost 2,000. Ohio lost 9,000. Minnesota lost 9,500. And surprisingly, Illinois lost 40,000 people.
Ooh.
Could be some tax reasons behind that.
Could be some tax reasons behind that. So if you look at Wisconsin, for all the knocks we get about weather and other types of things, we're better than every other Big Ten state in the Midwest, with the exception of Indiana.
So if we look at the number one, though, I know it's not, apples to apples when we talk about Texas seeing the most new residents, but is there something that we can take away from Texas, what they're doing to maybe go up even higher next year?
Yeah, I think it's still the old adage that people will follow where their economic prosperity is best situated. And so the growth in Texas, their economy down there, everything from, the gigafactories down there to Fortune 500 companies moving down there have drawn a lot of people. That's created a lot of opportunity and jobs, so you get a lot of people moving there. That's what I think's happening.
Some interesting things, if you scroll around on TikTok or if you scroll around on Instagram, you'll see these people who cruise around cities and ask people who are on the street walking around, how much do you pay for your apartment in, fill in city blank here?
And then can I go inside your apartment?
Exactly.
I'm always interested to see,
Then you get a little tour, right? So you see this pop up in Chicago, and it's, $2,100 a month. And the place is the size of a postage stamp, right? It's very expensive. We know that. Affordability in downtown metroplexes for individuals or maybe somebody living with a roommate. Where does Wisconsin rank here?
Yeah, and that's a really good question, and I think that's a part of drawing people to a community. So a recent study came out on this, and what they did was look at the median income in a community and what percent of that do you spend on rent if you're a single individual. And so I don't know if this is surprising, but New York, 67% of your income is spent on rent.
Yeah, not surprised.
No, and the median studio rent there is over $3,000 for a studio. So that was up at number one. Number two was Miami. Number three surprised me, Detroit.
Me too.
Really?
I was surprised at that.
I think it's because the income is relatively low in the city versus what you're paying, because the rent in Detroit was under $900. And then you've got Boston and LA. And again, I thought Milwaukee fared pretty well here, 38th.
Yeah, I think it's looking good right there. I was a little bit surprised that even cheaper though is Minneapolis than Milwaukee.
Yeah, I was too. And again, a little higher per capita income or median income and a little lower cost on their rent, which is surprising, which, when I look at the building in downtown Milwaukee, none of it is really lower or less expensive apartment rentals.
I mean, I always think of Milwaukee as being pretty affordable. But yes, I mean, a lot of the apartments that have gone up are these luxury apartments these days. But yeah, I guess I would have thought Minneapolis, bigger city, you're probably going to pay more in rent. So I was a little surprised at that. But it's nice to see where we are and Milwaukee still remaining affordable for singles.
It certainly is. And again, I think helpful in what is a very vibrant challenge for us, which is retaining more people here than move out.
We just talked to the mayor of Wauwatosa about the Shields development at Mayfair Mall. Mm-hmm. And along with that, 900 plus apartments are going to be part of that development. And I asked him, do you really feel there's a demand for people to fill those apartments up? I've been proven wrong on this time and time again. People like to eat, sleep, play kind of all in the same area more than I would have thought, even in a place like Tosa versus downtown.
Sure, and if you go north on 43 and Brown Deer and you see the development of the apartments in that area there too, similar concept.
Well, the mayor made a good point too. He said, look at some of the bigger cities like New York as an example. You have so many apartments. I mean, it's like retail and then floors and floors and floors of apartments. It's a little different in some of our communities where we haven't done it yet, but we're doing it.
True.
And it takes a day to get to a suburb out there as well. That's part of the issue. Hey, Warren Buffett just posted his 2024 annual shareholder letter. Do you pay attention to this? Do you glean anything from it? Is it a big deal?
Yeah, I do. It's one of those things that I try to read religiously every year, and I have for some time, and not so much for the investment advice that he gives, but for the life advice that he gives. And he always has a really good, a couple points to make. And I think the one this year he made, he was talking about some bad decisions that he had made, and his point was stop thumb sucking. When you make a bad decision, it isn't going to correct itself. Go take action on it. That's the only thing that's going to make a change. Now, fairly obvious advice, but there's always a good piece of advice in there for somebody who has probably the most successful stock over the last 30 or 40 years, but it's really the life advice that I get out of his annual letters.
Oh, I love that. But you're right. I mean, they're always popular among investors because of the insights he offers and his track record. I mean, he has a remarkable track record. So I think there are a lot of people saying, okay, tell me which stocks I need to invest in.
This always pops up, right? Warren Buffett sold off X many million shares of Apple, like, and all of a sudden the stock drops like 3 points in the day.
Right. And when you're pushing around $300-400 billion, it's hard for people not to notice when you're investing in something or pulling out of something. But again, I really like his life advice.
Did he also offer President Donald Trump some advice? I was reading some headlines about that.
If he did, I didn't see it.
It wasn't in the letter?
All right.
It wasn't in the letter.
I'm going to look at the letter.
His only warning there was that, for 235 years, this has been the best place in the world to invest. and that Berkshire is successful because they're in America. America would be successful without Berkshire.
Very good point. Always good information and a bit of life advice from our friend Tim Sheehy, Senior Advisor to the MMAC. Appreciate it, Tim. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Don't suck your thumb.
1226. Also sage advice. News coming up.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Anti-Heartbreak Officer Brian Wickert. While national headlines talk about the inventory of homes for sale being a lot higher this year, that's still not the case in most of Wisconsin. The good news is that now, even in winter, AccuNet's experienced loan consultants are already helping many of our pre-approved home shoppers become homeowners and avoid the heartbreak of losing in a multi-offer situation. Sure, you can go with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, or you can present your offer with an AccuNet rock-solid, fully verified, and guaranteed pre-approval that also might come with the phrase that really makes sellers happy: no appraisal required. When an appraisal is needed, we can also show you in dollars and cents what it means to willingly pay a certain dollar amount over the appraised value if that's what's needed to win, which is usually a lot less scary than people imagine. Reduce your risk of home shopper heartbreak by getting started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
So how would I describe our people? I'd say the people we set out to hire have to be smart, hardworking, and honest. Honesty being paramount of the three. Because honesty breeds integrity. And when you have integrity, you won't let yourself do anything less than your best. And that's who we're looking for. Character counts here, and integrity matters. That's why it's easy for us to offer the industry's best lifetime workmanship warranty with every roof we sell. A rock-solid warranty like ours guarantees our reputation and assures your satisfaction. At Semper Fi, we do the right thing. We seize the moral high ground, and we hold it. And when you do that, you end up having a business that's going to last for generations. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Siding is what pops on your home. Clean lines, beautiful accents, and wonderful colors can make your home really look amazing. Homeowners are always looking to add curb appeal when buying new siding, and a well-installed product from Siding Unlimited will definitely deliver a grand appeal. There is so much more to gain from replacing your siding other than the curb appeal you're already seeking. There is so much value in having new siding with low maintenance. Just an annual cleaning with the hose is all you really need to do. You can't get much lower maintenance than that. The process of replacing siding gives homeowners a fresh start, a new understanding knowing that we can peel back the old stuff and get a real in-depth inspection on the walls on your home and the structural integrity. How has the home performed over the past 20 years? We'll see it all when removing the old siding. There's a high percentage your home is missing the most important factor in siding a home, and that's a working water barrier. Many homes built in the 1990s and prior don't have a water barrier beneath the siding, and homes that were built in the 90s that do have one probably have a water barrier that was installed incorrectly. New siding replacement assures us that we install the water barrier correctly and protect the home moving forward. Our process always includes adding insulation board to the wall. This gives you a water barrier underlayment and additional R value, which is an energy coefficient, so warmer walls, adding more value to the project than the expected curb appeal. As the new siding goes back on, we know your home will be ready to manage water well into the future and look amazing doing so.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for siding and also replacement windows, roofing, and decks. Take the next step. Check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It is Monday, February 24th.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. At the White House, President Trump hosting France's leader discussing Ukraine as it marks 3 years since Russia's invasion. The Trump administration has shifted its U.S. policy on Ukraine as it tries to broker an end to the war. French President Macron saying Ukraine needs security guarantees to ensure long-time peace.
We are very aware of the necessity to have guarantees and solid peace in order to stabilize the situation.
The Trump administration continuing its work to take apart USAID, placing most of its staff worldwide on leave and firing 1,600 U.S.-based employees. That after a federal judge rejected workers' request to extend a temporary block. Pope Francis remains in a Rome hospital in critical condition, but the Vatican today says he is showing slight improvement. Egg prices continue to soar due to bird flu. The wholesale cost for a dozen eggs hovering just above $8. The cattle industry says drought and low cattle stock also driving beef prices higher. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 12:31. One person is in custody after a car flips onto its roof near Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. It happened overnight. Police say the driver lost control and rolled the vehicle over near Howell and Edgerton about 2:30. The driver, a 36-year-old man, is now being treated for serious injuries. He was also arrested for suspicion of OWI.
4 people are now under arrest in connection to the death of a teenager in Milwaukee. 15-year-old Mackay Kenneth Neal was found dead inside a burned-out car earlier this month near 26th and Locust. Police arrested a 39-year-old woman, a 24-year-old man, and 2 21-year-olds. Charges are pending.
As cleanup continues following the devastating wildfires in Southern California, the head of the L.A. Fire Department has been given a pink slip.
6 weeks after the most destructive wildfire in L.A. history, Mayor Karen Bass ousting the city's fire chief Kristen Crowley late last week amid a public rift over wildfire preparations. At least 29 people have died from the Palisades and Eaton fires that are now fully contained. Crowley was named fire chief in 2022 and grew up in Green Bay, attending Notre Dame Academy. Crowley was the first woman to be named chief of the LA Fire Department in its nearly 140-year history. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Fluctuating temps require more caution on the ice. The Coast Guard is reminding the public when our weather warms up, rapid melting of the ice makes it less safe, especially along the Great Lakes. Stay away from cracks, slushy, and darker areas since that can mean thinner ice. The Coast Guard also recommends dressing for the water temperature, not the air temperature, when you're around frozen water. Cold water drains a body's heat up to 25 times faster than cold air.
The Wisconsin Humane Society is launching a program to try before you adopt. It's called Benchwarmer Tryouts. It's a way to foster a pet. You can do it for up to 7 days before deciding on adoption. Wisconsin Humane Society Vice President of Communications, Angela Speed.
We learn more about them in a home environment, and we do know that if they do return to the shelter, their stress levels don't increase substantially from what they were before. So it's a really good thing for the dogs. It's great for families who are a little bit on the fence or might want to see how a new dog interacts with their animals or kids.
Now, the program only applies to dogs who have been at the shelter the longest. Speed says winter can be a slow season for adoptions, with about 50 benchwarmer dogs available.
Groove metal pioneers are heading to Milwaukee. Pantera will perform at the American Family Insurance Amphitheater on August 6th. The show will include Swedish heavy metal group Amon Amarth and an additional guest opener to be announced at a later date. Dun, 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 dun. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m.
Groove metal? Isn't it just heavy metal?
I looked it up. It's like a subgenre of heavy metal. Because I didn't know, so I was like, I gotta know.
In between hard rock and heavy metal?
It's like mid-tempo beat, detuned guitars, and repetitive guitar riffs.
Yeah, so heavy metal. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 12:34.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Debbie
Amy Lazaga here for Kohler Services. If you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now's the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. This month only, get 0 interest financing for 12 months and a free shower door with your Luxstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Brewers outfielder Blake Perkins will be sidelined about 8 weeks after following a ball off his shin and fracturing his tibia.
I've had situations where you kind of go down, it hurts a lot for a little bit, and then it slowly goes away. But I think when I woke up the next day and it was really hard to walk, I was a little bit nervous.
Our next broadcast is scheduled for Wednesday afternoon. Brewers take on the Mariners today. Winners of 4 straight games, the Bucks travel to Houston to face the Rockets Tuesday night. And in college basketball, the Marquette Golden Eagles drop 5 spots to number 21 in the latest AP Top 25. The Wisconsin Badgers hold steady at number 11 despite a weekend loss to Oregon. Badgers take on Washington Tuesday night at the Kohl Center. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We have a crash that just popped up minutes ago, a new one, 4143, 894 East at the ramp from Loomis. The right lane is blocked due to a crash. Looks like it involves a car. It's actually right around the curve, so it's kind of hard to see because there's so much traffic going around that curve, but definitely involves at least one car and a truck. I do see a sheriff's deputy out there already. It looks like they have a couple cones in place, but traffic is slowly moving around there. This is definitely going to cause a backup. Once again, a new crash, 4143 894 East at the ramp from Loomis.
Mild temperatures today, breezy with a high of 50 degrees. Might see a little bit of rain tonight and a low of 33. Tomorrow looks beautiful with a high of 46 under mostly sunny skies. In the mid-40s on Wednesday and Thursday. Friday we bump up to 50 again under cloudy skies. It is 52 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:38. It is February 24th, 2025. That means we are 59 days, 5 hours, 21 minutes, and 6 seconds until the eyes of the NFL world will be on Green Bay for the draft. We are 2 months away from maybe the biggest event in the state of Wisconsin.
It is so exciting. I can't wait. I always like watching the draft period because I love the personal stories. Even if it's not our team, I just like seeing how these guys came up and, what kind of tugs at your heartstrings. But this is just going to be fun up in Green Bay.
We'll have extensive coverage, of course, here with WTMJ and our sister station, ESPN Milwaukee. But how are they preparing in Green Bay? There is a fantastic website. It's simply greenbay.com. It is the Chamber of Commerce site for the city of Green Bay. They've got a separate NFL draft tab, and it's everything from hospitality to what you can do to the hours of the draft, things to do in Green Bay. What if you want to rent out your house for the draft for people coming in from out of state? It is comprehensive. And it is getting close. Wanted to welcome in Nick Meisner. He's the VP of Marketing and Communications for Discover Green Bay. Hi, Nick.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing great. So when did you start officially working on laying out this website and beginning your preparations for this incredible event?
Oh, man. Well, first of all, I appreciate your kind words about the site. It's been a labor of love, that's for sure. But we started laying this out during the bid process. I mean, it was something that we had, told the NFL that we would provide to help, help with fan communications. Of course, once the registration launches on the OnePass app, that'll be kind of the go-to spot for a bunch of information. But as people are planning their trip, that's where they can go to greenbay.com/draft25. As you mentioned, it's taken on a lot of different purposes. When we first launched it back in May of 2023, it was just kind of celebrating the fact that we had the draft, and now that we're drilling down into more and more details, it's become much more comprehensive.
So there are a couple ways that people can access the 2025 NFL Draft in Green Bay. One is the draft experience, and then you also have the draft theater. Can you explain those two, what's involved and what people can expect?
Yeah, first and foremost, it's a free event. So everyone should know that. There's not a cost for tickets. Of course, there's some various, VIP and seating tickets, but those are limited. The majority of the event is free to attend. And it is one big campus. I'm sure people have seen the footprint area that has been mapped out in the renderings. There are two parts. The main entrances, the general admissions entrances, are up by the experience portion, which will be housed in the Titletown development near Lambeau Field. So it's the best way I can describe it is it's a state fair of football, right? It's a celebration of the game. Everything from Lombardi Trophy displays, Super Bowl rings, NFL locker displays, punt, pass, and kick, 40-yard dash, field goal kicking, basically anything a football fan could want. Yeah, then there's the theater area. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the way the website is laid out, it's for those of us who are familiar with Green Bay and for those of us who are not familiar with Green Bay, maybe never have been to the state before. What I love is this, the little touches of Wisconsin that people will get to experience, including Wisconsin supper clubs. The draft will feature Wisconsin supper clubs at various concession stands throughout the NFL draft experience. You could have prime rib Saturday?
I don't know if the menus have been determined yet. Maybe that's a great idea. I'll bring that to the committee. But they do a great job of bringing in the local culture, right? They told us very early on in the process that don't take what you see in Detroit or Kansas City or Vegas or Nashville and copy and paste that into Green Bay. We want visitors to know they're in Wisconsin, they're in Green Bay. So they're doing everything they can to find local touches. And on Saturday is really like the love letter to the community day. There's going to be a ton of local engagements on Saturday, where Thursday and Friday are really about the football.
Oh, I love that. That's great. Okay, so you talked about the NFL draft experience, which you said is like the state fair of football, which makes us laugh, but it is so appropriate. And so then the draft theater, what's happened there?
So the draft theater will be connected to the draft experience. You can walk from the draft experience to the theater around the campus. But that's where all the entertainment happens. So that's where the show happens, right? It is a massive, absolutely massive stage that'll be built right in front of the Resch Expo on Oneida Street, parallel to Lombardi Ave. So can you imagine being a draft pick and stepping out on Lombardi Ave, looking at Lambeau Field for your first introduction to the NFL? It gives me goosebumps every time I think about it.
That's awesome.
Nick Meisner's a VP of Marketing and Communications for Discover Green Bay. We expect it to be a massive event here, Nick. Many people will drive. Some people will fly into Milwaukee and make the trip up to Green Bay, maybe some neighboring communities like Appleton. Have you worked with, or do you work with the airport or airlines to try and increase flight offerings? What role does the city of Green Bay have in that?
Well, we're the Destination Marketing Organization, or the CVB. We're basically like the Visit Milwaukee up here in Green Bay, which I know your listeners are familiar with our friends at Visit Milwaukee. Great people over there. But we are more in the event promotion, destination promotion. We definitely consult with the airport, share what we have from a data perspective, but the expansion of airlines is really between the airport and the airline themselves. I know many carriers have expanded here in Green Bay, and don't forget that we have a great airport here at Green Bay, Austin Straubel Airport, that they're expanding inbound flights for that week, and it's a great and convenient place to fly into. So there are still plenty of flights available here into Green Bay if you don't want to make the drive up. But yeah, we do know that we're going to rely on our neighbors to the south, Appleton and Milwaukee, to take in some of those visitors as well. But yeah, that kind of happens with the demand. It's kind of, a supply and demand situation that the airports work out directly with the airlines.
Are you working with other communities across the state? Like, I'm thinking about like Door County, not too far.
Yeah.
Are they calling Discover Green Bay to say, hey, How can you guys help us capitalize on all of these people who are coming to Wisconsin for the draft?
Yeah, 100%. We've been talking at our statewide conferences, working with our neighboring destinations. Actually, tomorrow I'll be joining a webinar with Visit Milwaukee and explaining some of the stuff. But yeah, we've consulted with them. Shared how they can leverage the NFL draft to bring more visitors to their community, inspire return visits, that sort of thing. We've also provided a business resource guide for them, and actually we left a whole page blank for those local organizations to be able to put in their own information. That can be found. I think Visit Milwaukee has a version of that where they've implemented some of their own information. Otherwise, it's on greenbay.com/draft25, and that kind of goes through some helpful tips, things you can and can't do with NFL intellectual property, planning events, and all sorts of things that you would need if you're looking to maximize your exposure.
So, Nick, what do you do now? You got 59 days and about 20 hours or so until the draft launches.
Yeah.
What's on the calendar here for you guys to accomplish?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of moving parts right now. We are just working to make sure the fan experience is as positive as possible. We know that there's going to be a lot of people coming up, and it's our time to put Green Bay in the national spotlight and really the entire state of Wisconsin in the national spotlight. So there's a lot on the calendar, as you can imagine, but just making sure the fan experience is enjoyable and is unforgettable is the biggest thing that we're working on right now.
I'm also curious, you talked about the advice that you guys got up in Green Bay was to really make it your own and bring in those Wisconsin touches, which is awesome and so smart. But I'm wondering, did you call any of the other cities who have hosted in the past, any lessons that they learned that maybe they shared with you?
Oh my gosh, I cannot begin to tell you how helpful the folks from Visit Kansas City and Visit Detroit have been. Just a major kudos to them. It's almost like a little bit of a hand-me-down. Here's what we did. And they've been amazing. They've picked up every call that I've made, responded to every email, sharing their experiences, what went well for them. If they could do it over, what would they do differently? Their teams have been a spectacular support for us, and I look forward to, me and the folks over at the Packers and the rest of the local organizing committee look forward to being that resource for Pittsburgh when they host next year.
Always good information, Nick. We'll check in again soon as maybe we're about 4 weeks out and see where you're at with preparations, but looks great. Looks like Green Bay is getting ready. The website is fantastic as well. Well done.
Can't wait.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Anytime. Happy to chat.
You bet.
Thanks,
Great
Nick.
to have you on. That's Nick Meisner, VP of Marketing and Communications for Discover Green Bay. Yeah, really interesting stuff here. Whether you live in Wisconsin or not, visit greenbay.com. They got a little draft tab. Tons of information. I mean, it is loaded with information. For those who live in the state, those who have never been to the state, it's your one-stop shop.
This is huge for Green Bay, huge for Wisconsin, and what a blast for those who get to go. There's also, we didn't have enough time, but I wanted to ask him too at some point. We'll check in next time. There's something called the Inner Circle. Like, what exactly is that? Sounds like something you want to be in, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. It also sounds like a groove metal band.
Yeah.
It's 12:49 on WTMJ.
Looking to escape the winter chill? Fox World Travel has you covered. Whether it's an all-inclusive vacation with Apple Vacations, a luxurious Princess Cruise, or a European adventure with Globus and Avalon, we create unforgettable experiences just for you. Enjoy last-minute deals, exclusive offers, and personalized itineraries. From booking to boarding, we handle all the details for a stress-free trip. Ready to get out of the cold? Call 866-GO-FOX-GO and mention code RADIO to start planning your getaway today.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzek. I want to tell you about my friends at the Hounds and Tap. It's in Menominee Falls. We had our dog Night there over the weekend, about a week ago, as a matter of fact, utilizing the boarding service. A little overnight stay for Night. He loves it. They also trimmed his nails, which is great. Our floor is like that. It's the Hounds and Tap. It's in Menominee Falls. It is your one-stop shop for everything dog-related. You can get treats. You can drop your dog off for daycare or boarding or a quick little nail trim. They can do that for you at the Hounds and Tap. 12,000 square foot facility. It is stunning. There's no place like it. Designed for dogs. Humans are going to have a lot of fun there as well with their indoor-outdoor tavern. They've got family day every Sunday, so bring the kids along with the dog. Food trucks when the weather gets a little nicer. You are going to enjoy it. Nothing like it at all here in southeastern Wisconsin. Visit thehoundsandtap.com. See what I'm talking about. Get your dog registered and enjoy it. It's the Hounds and Tap wisconsinwayfinder.com.
Do you know or work with kids who have special healthcare needs? Help them live their best lives. Contact Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network. Our specialists will connect you with services in your area. Wisconsin Wayfinder is free and confidential. Call 877-947-2929 or visit dhs.wi.gov/WISCWAY. Connect today. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Namaste.
Dan, what are you doing?
Shh, you're harshing my mellow. Join me in some breathing exercises to chase away the chaos.
Let's focus on our clients since we offer an exceptional way to control the chaos.
Inspired Closets can more than double your closet storage space.
And we don't over-design projects, sending you 3 beautiful designs to fit your price point.
Plus, our true lifetime warranty makes it a no-brainer.
Get started today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
I haven't had anything to eat for days, and being hungry hurts.
Going without oil changes can destroy your engine, but it doesn't compare to the effect of going without food. That's why the Automobile Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee is determined to make sure no one goes to bed hungry. Through March 1st, they'll donate $1 from every oil change to Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has donated over $890,000, providing more than 2.6 million meals to people across southeast Wisconsin, the majority being children and seniors. And with today's ongoing challenges, the need is greater than ever. So help the hungry while helping your vehicle. Get your oil changed by Adam Dealer Factory Trained Techs at a price as low or lower than independent shops. Visit an Adam member dealer near you.
For a list of participating dealers, visit adamm.com.
For every inadequacy and sin in your life, you and I have help. You have a Savior in Jesus Christ. God loves you so much, He is joyful to rescue you, to do His divine rehab of your life. It's good to be with Jesus.
We revisit a classic message from Pastor Gregory Seltz this week on The Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Wrapping up Wisconsin's Midday News on a Monday, Greg and Jessica take us with you wherever you go. Subscribe to the Wisconsin's Midday News podcast wherever you get your podcasts. It's built by Siding Unlimited, truly siding, and a whole lot more. If you watched any spring training baseball over the weekend, I saw some clips here. I didn't see any of this live, but there's a new system in baseball where they're incorporating robotics.
Yeah, it's not really robots. It'd be cool if it was a robot. It's not a robot, but
I kind of want it to be robots. I don't know, somewhere in the back of my mind. So here's the deal. There's a new strike and ball system that MLB is toying with throughout the course of spring training. Dom Catronio, our Brewers Extra Innings host, is in Arizona. He explains it.
The future is near. Major League Baseball is testing an automated ball strike system, also known as ABS. This is only happening during select spring training games this season. Here's how it works. Umpires still call balls and strikes with their eyes, but each team is allowed 2 challenges per game, where we check with the robots if it was a ball or a strike. The catch, only the pitcher, the catcher, or the batter can call for the challenge. No help from the dugout. If you win that challenge by overturning a call, you keep it. If you're wrong, it's gone for the rest of the game. Here's Pat Murphy's reaction on the testing and what Major League Baseball is trying to get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something being considered. And MLB has people looking into this stuff. They're not guessing. They do a hell of a job. If they're going to make a rule change, they do a thorough job of researching it, testing it, and seeing the effect it's going to have on the games.
Tyler Black is known for having the best eye in the Brewers organization, and he saw the benefits and the system firsthand in AAA last season.
It was pretty accurate, I felt like. I thought it was really cool how they used the challenge thing, too. I thought it was solid.
So what exactly is the strike zone? Major League Baseball has attempted to define the top and bottom of the zone based on the player's standard height, not their batting stance height. This is to avoid manipulation. They also define the depth where the ball crosses the strike zone as 8.5 inches deep, which is the center of the plate, which is 17 inches deep, just like it's 17 inches wide. Rest assured for the purists out there, this is not going to be implemented in Major League Baseball this year, but it will be continued to be tested in the minor leagues.
I actually like the challenges to where you got to be smart with using it. Obviously, you burn one in the first inning, it's not really a good look, so you can kind of use it as a strategy too.
Reporting from spring training, I'm Dominic Cotroneo.
Yeah, so if you're watching a game and listening along on the radio, you might see a little pause in activity. The batter, the catcher, the pitcher could call for this challenge system, and essentially they've got an automated strike zone that will confirm the call made by the umpire or overturn it.
Wasn't it so nice over the weekend to see Uke Spot up there? They had his picture out there. They had the flowers. Best seat in the house.
Definitely. So that's the setup in Arizona. And if you missed Jeff Levering's intro to Brewers baseball, it definitely did a great job paying homage to the great one, Bob Uecker. But yes, a picture of Bob and flowers sitting in his seat, the seat he would normally occupy. Our next broadcast of spring training baseball will be Wednesday. Brewers take on the Mariners later today.
Hader ready again. Here it is. Swinging fly ball in the right center. Broxton is there. And they're the champions. They have done it. Celebrating at Wrigley Field. They are the champions.
Don't count us out. Not
Lillard scoops to the hoop, lays it in. The Bucks have taken a 1-point Lopez in transition, squeezes up a three, and he drilled it. The Bucks throwing fire.
This season is far from over.
To work with drives inside and stuffs it down with the right hand. 59 points now for Giannis. He's tapping his chest as he goes the other way, saying, "This is my house.
We are the home of the Bucks.
This is my house."
WTMJ.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have